Hello, friends. Welcome into Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey here with a look at some potential free agent targets for Tennessee. Now, are they going to go make a signing right now? No, probably not. But this is a good list of players to keep in mind in case that changes for Tennessee. Or if there's yet another injury, or if maybe one of the current free agents ends up getting a little bit healthy. So keep that in mind as we run through this list of players. We begin on the offensive line with Mitchell Schwartz, who is a top-tier right tackle when he is healthy. Now, the issue is that Schwartz probably isn't healthy at the current moment. Now, he didn't play at all this year, or at least he hasn't played at all this year, I should say, and missed a good portion of last year with a back injury. He had off-season surgery for it. So far, he's been having a bit more fun on Twitter than what he normally does during a season. But Schwartz is somebody absolutely worth checking into. Talent-wise, he'd be better than the even solidly playing David Quisenberry. Last year, despite being banged up and injured in Kansas City, Schwartz fared pretty well. Allowed just 2 sacks, a hit, 8 hurries. His PFF run grade was 63, so not great. But Tennessee, I think, could use another right tackle option. I think if healthy, Schwartz is better than Kendall Lamb, although that's not a dig against Kendall Lamb. He's a solid player. He's just not the same caliber as Mitchell Schwartz. And as we'll get into more in depth in just a little bit, I can pretty much promise you guys that one. He is better than Bobby Hart. So name a player who you guys want the Titans to go out and sign. Maybe it's a name on this list. Maybe it's not. Of course, we're focused on mid-season names right now, not the guys who might become available next off. And keep that in mind and keep it, realistic as a result. Over now to Russell Okung, who was a starter last year before he got hurt. Now, I think it's a bit of a surprise he remains unsigned at this point, although he allegedly wanted a bit too much in NFL free agency. Last year for Carolina at left tackle, 3 sacks, 1 hit, 13 hurries, a bit more playing time than Schwartz, or even a bit less playing time than Schwartz, but he's a good football player. Now, the difference here is, do you want a left tackle or a right tackle? Given the injury issue for Taylor Lewan, I'm actually a bit more intrigued by the left tackle side of things. So I would rather sign Russell Okung because I think Bobby Hart sucks at football. And of course, that's me being very mean, but I stand by it. So pick an offensive tackle. If both are healthy, both affordable, who would you rather sign? RO for Russell Okung, MS for Mitchell Schwartz. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, head down to the comments and let me know. Let's go to the defensive tackle spot now. Geno Atkins. Atkins is a former Pro Bowler for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Seahawks early on this season / late offseason brought him in for a visit, which I thought was a sign. Hey, they're going to sign this guy. He had been cleared by the the current Cowboys team doctor, although Dallas has shown no interest in him. But when Seattle brought him in, nothing happened. And it's been very quiet around Atkins since then, who was a complete non-factor in 2020, but in 2019 previously has shown ability in the past. So Atkins, if he's back to closer to his previous form, would be a nice another addition on the interior of that defensive line for Tennessee. 2019, 4 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits. Not bad, not quite peak Geno, but I just wonder if we've seen the end of the line from Atkins. After all, there's a reason why every player we're going through here remains unsigned as we get closer into mid-November. Now, I'm a big Danico Autry fan. You guys know how I feel about Jeffrey Simmons as well. And I think there's some promise with Laurel Murchison as well. I just don't love the other options, and I think in an ideal world, a true run-stopping nose tackle better than Tyler Tart, not bad, would be a nice little addition in the end for the Tennessee Titans. So I would call about Atkins, but I wonder how healthy or truly back to prime form he is at this point in his NFL career. Now, if Tennessee does make a move, we'll do our best to break it down here on Tennessee Titans today. So subscribe if you want more free videos. You guys loved yesterday's. They're going to keep on coming. So subscribe for free to youtube.com/Titans today. Let's go to Todd Gurley now is, look, the Titans could have picked him up. They went with Adrian Peterson, though, AD, instead, as they help replace Derrick Henry. Now, Peterson didn't dominate last week, so maybe more running back help is in the cards. But here's my concern, and why everyone else goes, well, what about signing Todd Gurley? I will be honest and blunt with you guys here. Part of my thing at Chat Sports. Todd Gurley, I think he's washed. I think he's cooked. I don't think he can do it anymore. First 9 games, 3.7 yards per carry. Not good, not a disaster either. Down the stretch for Atlanta, as I believe the injuries began to continue to pile up and add up and everything. On only 36 carries, 2.6 yards per carry. That's bad. I think teams think the back end of last year, Gurley, is what he is moving forward. Now, if they were to bring him in, I wouldn't despise it because Jeremy McNichols, I think current Adrian Peterson, no disrespect intended, he's a Hall of Famer, of course, Foreman. It's not a great group. It's very much a group of just a guy. So if you want to bring in Todd Gurley for a workout or a different back and see what he can do at this point, I'd be okay with that. I just don't think he's going to be prime, even 2018 Todd Gurley anymore. But speaking of running back overall, do you trust that current grouping in the interim, the Peterson, McNichols, and Foreman grouping? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Type your responses for me if you think Tennessee needs another back. 1 for yes, 0 for no. Let's go to Jaylon Smith, another big name who, again, I'll be blunt and honest, not a big producer anymore. He has been cut by 2 contenders this year, 2 of the better teams in the NFC, the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. And that is because Smith is not what he was at his best. Maybe it was the effort he had put into recovering. Maybe he got comfortable. Whatever it was, Smith has not played well this year or last year. And don't let the 2020 tackle numbers fool you. Tackle numbers are a bad way to evaluate how good somebody is at playing linebacker because it matters how those tackles are coming. Are they coming downfield? Or are you just helping out as other players make the initial tackle and he offers no special teams value and he can't cover? He could maybe blitz a little bit, but his change of direction is not nearly what you want it to be for that type of player. Could he be a 3-4 inside linebacker blitzer occasionally? Yeah, I think that could maybe work for Tennessee. And a big-time name. Is he better than Rashaan Evans? That's, I think, what you're really asking, but you're not going to move on from Rashaan Evans. I like Monty Rice, J.N. Brown, David Long, longer terms. Nick Dunsbar, offers special teams value. So maybe you're not happy with the overall inside linebacker play. I get that's why I put Jaylon Smith on here, and he's a big-time name. Not sure he fits, actually, for Tennessee anymore. So what is the biggest need for the Titans? Is it running back, inside linebacker, kicker, punter? I don't know. Just throwing out positions at that point. Long snapper? Probably not. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I want to hear from you guys as part of today's video. One more name, the best non-Odell Beckham free agent I believe out there right now. That is Olivier Vernon, who was great last year, but suffered a torn Achilles in the back end of the season. And I think the medical is a big-time major reason why Vernon remains unsigned late into November, or into mid-November. You don't find guys coming off a 9-sack season unless it was a weird Adrian Claiborne almost all coming in one game situation like Vernon. I don't think he's healthy. Now, if you bring him in and the medical checks out, I'd say sign him. And that's not a dig at his, because Harold Landry's been great this year. I still like Bud Dupree, as banged up as he's been. Danico Autry can kind of play inside out a little bit as well. But edge depth, it's not a bad thing. Ole Adeniji, yeah, he's fine. He ain't Olivier Vernon. So if I were the Titans and I happen to get a medical clearance with Olivier Vernon, I would strongly consider bringing him in. Because God forbid Landry or Dupree get hurt, all of a sudden that room looks very, very thin. So if the Titans make a big-time move, or any move really, we'll try to keep you guys updated. Subscribe for free videos throughout the week all year long here on Tennessee Titans Today.